How you feeling?
Good.
You missed spring ball with that injury. Just how are you health-wise?
I'm great right now. I'm excited to get out there Wednesday, get to it. It's what we want every year. You're waiting for the season. You practice a long off-season, and so I'm excited to get back out there.
How much did missing spring ball play into that, of the excitement of getting out here and playing?
It definitely plays into it. You step away from it for a little bit, and it definitely makes you want to get back on the field faster and be able to play again. But just taking it day by day, and it's been good.
Are you fully cleared to play?
Yeah, yes, sir.
When was the last time before the spring that you had kind of a major injury like that?
Not really. I've had some bumps and bruises, obviously, as it comes with football, but not really ever. So it was the first kind of one.
How do you get through it?
God, I pray every day about it, and I had the Lord bless me with a speedy, fast recovery, no problems, and so that's how I got through it, as the Lord.
You're kind of the veteran returning starter in this tight end room, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see yourself kind of developing as a leader this offseason?
I think that's something that I've really tried to attack and get better at. We had a lot of new guys come in. Me and Pat are really the two returners, and so I've sat and talked with Pat and just about how we can make the room better and carry on the legacy of the tight ends. And we're always a tight-knit group, and we do a lot of things on the football field. So I sat down with Pat, and we just told each other we need to hold this group to a higher standard. And so I've been really trying to work on leadership with a lot of the new guys coming in.
How do you go about that? Is there anything you can share? How do you go about doing that?
Just one, with how I work and showing up earlier and doing certain stuff that makes me better, and then they see and kind of look up to me. So leading by example, but then also just kind of staying on the guys, giving them words of wisdom. I know Kenyan, he's our freshman tight end, and I've tried to help him out a lot with stuff that I wish I would have heard as a freshman, or I did hear as a freshman from a lot of the older guys that I had. So.
Like you mentioned, obviously, it's a lot of new faces in that tight end room. It seemed like you guys were one of the rooms that came together the latest. How was that sort of transition for you guys, sort of waiting for someone to join that group to sort of form that bond? Do you feel like it's a little rushed at this point now?
No, I don't feel it's rushed. We had a tight-knit group, and every person that's came in, the way we work as a tight end, you got to do a lot of different things on the field. And, everybody who plays tight end is going to be a tough, gritty guy, and so we always get along well. So people kept adding in, and it's really came together really good, and everybody's got along really well actually. So
Kenyan was regarded as one of the better athletes in the country in his recruiting class. Just what makes him be so revered in that way?
Athletes across the board. He's super strong, fast, quick. Pound for pound, probably one of the best athletes on the team. He's a hell of an athlete, across the board. So just literally everything.
Do you have an example of what just made you go, "Wow, that was crazy"?
I'd say probably his speed. Just a couple times, we do some running in the off season, and I see him hawking people that are supposed to be fast, and then Kenyan's really fast. So he has elite speed.
It's kind of crazy. He came from. Yeah, small town.
Yeah, it's funny. We give him a real hard time about it, telling him he's potato in Idaho and all that. So it's funny he did come from a really small town, but that's usually where the best ones come from. So
when you get a new OC, there's a lot of social media talk about how the quarterback is going to blend in with the new OC and build a relationship. But from the tight end room, what's it been like for you guys to work with Will, and maybe what's different than what Kenny brought to the table?
Tight end is a position where it does change a lot for OCs, and I think we've had a great relationship with Coach Stein, and he's done a great job of using us in all kinds of different ways, whether that's on the line, in the slot, or number one. He's done a great job of doing that, so we're really excited about this season.
From the tight end room, what is sort of the goal of this camp for you guys? What do you really want to grow in?
I think all together we just kind of, with a lot of new guys, and we grew a lot in the spring, obviously learning the offense, and a lot of the new guys kind of building on that. But we're just gonna take it day by day and just try to get better in our around full football, everything. We gotta catch the ball, we gotta run block, we gotta pass protect sometimes. So I think we're just kind of trying to get better all around. So
Dan called this season going from good to great.
Mm-hmm.
Just how, from your perspective, how have you seen yourself, your position group, the team kind of embrace that theme this offseason?
I think this is probably the best offseason I've been a part of. A lot of guys have done a lot of extra work. We were just pushing each other every day in work and competing in everything. That's one thing this team has done a really good job of doing, is competing in drills, just any type of player-led thing. So we've really harped on that and try to push to be better than what we were last year, because if you do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results. So we've been trying to really make that next step for this team.
How important is that connectivity between the tight end group and that O-line? Obviously, there's a lot of new faces over on the O-line as well.
It's really big. We had a great O-line last year, and a lot of dudes that have played for a long time and played together. So it's really big for us because we're blocking with them and in combination with the tackles, and you got to hear the call from the center. So we've spent some time with them and Coach Terry, and we've really got to know them well, and kind of we've been all growing in the same way because they're learning the new offense, and we are as well. So it's kind of been all at the same time.
Bo was saying, back to an open quarterback competition, from a standpoint. What's your kind of observations of how those three guys work together throughout the summer, the relationships they have, maybe how they push each other?
Oh, they have a great relationship. That's a really tight room, a bunch of good dudes, and I'm really good friends with a lot of those dudes. And they push each other every day, from speed school to just change the direction drills we're doing. They're competing, and that's who those guys are. They're real competitive people. That's what makes them go. So they've done a really good job of, one, being there for each other and being happy for each other's success, but also competing. So it's cool to watch.
Being from Colorado, any thoughts on Colorado moving on?
I think it's good for the state, and I'm glad that hopefully we brought some hype and stuff back to Colorado. I think that's really cool, but we're just focused on day-to-day, worried about the Ducks.
Maybe the last, not maybe, it's going to be the last year of the Pac-12 as we know it right now. Are there any games that you got circled on the calendar that you're excited for?
First day of fall camp. No, but just we're taking it honestly day by day and then week by week. I think if you look too far ahead or you circle people on schedules, you end up getting caught up in a game that you should win or stuff like that. So just day by day.
You're well schooled in coach speak right now.
You guys have a bunch of portal guys in the secondary who came in here with Tysheen, Terry, just all those guys. Anybody really stood out to you at this point?
All those guys, we brought in Evan, has been really good. Tysheen and Kyrie, they've all done a really good job. I was really impressed with them in the spring and just the way they've worked throughout the summer. So I'd say that whole kind of group that came in.
Dorless claimed he's the team's biggest trash talker, best trash talker. A, do you agree with that? B, what makes him so effective?
I don't know. I might agree to disagree. I feel like there's some guys that can talk some trash. Dorless is pretty good though. I'll give him that.
Who would be the other guys that would be in contention?
Some people are Bo Nix has a weird way of talking trash. It's not your typical, but he's definitely he's up there. Tez is a pretty good trash talker. There's a lot of the dudes on the team that can run their mouth.
What makes Bo so unique or different?
It's just him. He's the different character, and he's just, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, you have to hear it.
It's Philip Rivers-esque.
Yeah.
Is it being polite and trash talk? You're overly polite?
Somewhat, but also not. It's just it's a Bo Nix thing. I don't know how to explain it honestly.
Did you ever play in the NCAA football game at all?
Yes, I did.
There's obviously the opportunity that game could come back. What would it mean to see yourself on that video game?
That's really big. Just growing up with my brothers, we always played NCAA, and that just to me is a cool thing to be able to see yourself on a video game and have people play with your character, and I think it's really cool. So I would love to.
When Bo is talking trash to you, do you know it immediately, or is it one of those things where you walk away and then you're like, wait a minute?
You just immediately, most of the time, me and him have played a lot of basketball together and done a lot of stuff off the field, and it's definitely, when he's talking trash, and we've been on the same basketball team and talk trash to each other even, so it's fun.
Thanks, Steve.
I am, by far, the number one on the team. You could record that one.